Hey everyone, good afternoon. Dr. Cortez on board. We are now in lesson 12 of taxation. So this is the last slide, the last lesson for this sem. And these are the learning outcomes. At the end of the topic, the students should be able to explain the main principles which govern excise taxation, identify and explain the practical impact of excise beyond revenue. So ngayong araw na to, actually, na we are done with computing the different types of taxes, excise tax, the withholding, the income tax, business taxes. Sa lahat, no? We have been talking about those for the last few meetings. Ngayon naman, some touch on the penalties. Just in case na hindi ka makapagbayad ng taxes, hindi makapag-print, hindi makapag-issue ng receipt sa mga customers mo, failure to report your sales, what are the consequence? Ito yung mga itatopic natin ngayong araw na to. Right? And ito yung mga few topics ngayon. Example, the issuance of receipt. Sino ang kailan mag-i-issue ng receipt? Exporting goods and services. Ayan, we're also going to tackle the printing of receipt, mandatory marking sa mga products nating ini-export. Yan, yun natin mga topics to be done today. And so let's start with the first topic, the mandatory marking of all fuel products and imposition of fines for a related offense. Yung fuel marking, guys, no, ito yung sa under the train law, the tax reform for acceleration and inclusion. Ito yung tatatakan yung mga fuel products na imported from other countries. Markings, no? Basically markings. The reason for this one is to avoid smuggling. So, ibig sabihin, if the merchandise, the imports, they don't have the fuel markings, it means they did not pass through the proper procedures of customs natin. So in short, those are illegal, those are smuggled goods. Dapat meron sang tatak as proof na dumaan sa proper procedure, proper taxation. So the reason why they don't pass through the customs, siyempre merong mga taxes like the customs duties, the tariff. If they want to avoid those taxes, siyempre smuggled, di sa tatatakan. So kapag di naman sa customs, wala tatak. So ang fuel marking is done after the taxes are paid on redefined. So automatic, no? Pag nakapagbayad ka ng customs duties sa mga imported mo, meron sang tatak na. Ibig sabihin, you have passed through the customs, you have paid the custom. Example sa mga gasoline, imported gasoline, diesel, and kerosene. Yan, mga dumadaan. Ito ang mga subprime commodities na kailangan natin, na we can't live without gasoline, we can't live without diesel and kerosene. So, importante mga products na to. Kaya yung iba ini-smuggle. So, dapat dumaan sa proper procedure kasi what you are doing if you don't pass through the customs, what you are doing is tax evasion. And may penalties, no? That is, you have just committed a crime of tax evasion pag walang proper customs duties. Ayun, so ang fuel markings is specifically done sa mga gasoline, diesel, and kerosene imported products. Pag ikaw ay siyempre, hindi naman lahat ay nag-import, but those businesses involved in importation. Right? So, during field testing, a marker, if I will be allowed to read this one, a marker or special dye, yung sa marking to ha, ibig sabihin para makasiguradong hindi ma-counterfeit yung marking kasi alam mo naman 'di ba, mga lahat ay gagawin makapandaya lang. Lahat kayang gawin mga markings na. So sa added security measure, specialized dye, no, yung ginagamit. We don't know the reason, the exact feature of the dye na ginagamit sa mga markings. Pero pag ginamit 'to and you are the customs examiner, you will notice right away na yung dye na ginagamit ay kung fake or hindi. Because of course they are trained to monitor, to check kung yung mga dye sa markings ay totoo. Example, pag yan ay nagkumupas within 1 week, within a few days, ibig sabihin, yung dye ay hindi siya totoo, hindi siya genuine. Fake na dye lang ginamit sa fuel marking. So wala ka pa ring result, no? If you want to counterfeit. The reason na specialized dye ensure that the shipment went through legal import channels and you paid the taxes, and kasi hindi basta-basta pwede ma-fake yung mga ginagamit na dye. Ayan. So pag automatic, pag walang marker, pag walang fuel markings using specialized dye, so that is an evidence. Automatic na pag walang marking, that is evidence na walang compliance, non-compliant, automatic na. Pag walang tatak, smuggled. So ganoon lang kasimple. Unmarked products as well as those with markers but below the required level shall be presumed to have been withdrawn or imported with the intention to evade the payment of duties and taxes. Pag yan ay mga walang tatak na mga products, kahit meron daw siyang markers, is still can be considered as intention to evade the payment of duties. Yan. In those cases, the appropriate excise tax, so we know, right, na pag nag-import ka, based on the volume, based on the liters ng gasoline or diesel or kerosene, pag based sa liter, those are excise taxes. Ayan, no? Now, yung mga taxes pag ikaw ay, di ba, depende sa types of products ang iyong babayarang taxes. May cigarette, right? May mga coal, may silver, may gold, may fuel. Yan, so different taxes ang binabayaran. So pag ikaw ay nahuli, so meron siyang penalty. In addition to the excise taxes to be paid, so meron ka palang babayarang mga penalty. We call that the surcharge or penalty for non-payment of taxes. Nagdoble, no? Nagdoble yung mga bayarin mo pag ikaw ay nag-resorted to tax evasion or failure to intentionally failing to pay the taxes, excise taxes in particular. Right, so let's move on. Use of appropriate counting or metering devices to determine volume of fuel importation and production. Di ba may mga products na ang taxes ay based sa value? Example, mga sasakyan, di ba? Mga luxury cars, ang tax doon based sa value. Example, kalahati, di ba? Kalahati ng value ng sasakyan, those are the taxes. Meron naman mga based sa liter. Ito yung mga tinatawag natin specific tax, di ba? Ang base sa value ng sasakyan, ad valorem tax ang tawag natin diyan. But 'pag base sa units, example, 5 litro, ganito ang taxes. 5 pakete, ganito ang taxes. Based sa unit of measurement, we call those as the specific taxes. Now, pag sa volume, mayroon, of course, the customs will be using um, devices, metering devices to determine ilang volume. And based on the volume, they will be paying the taxes. Example sa fuel, di ba? Paano malalaman kung magkano babayaran mo? So based sa volume, based sa liters, no? And of course, they are using metering devices, right? To make sure kung ilang litro ang in-import mo. Right? So let's move on. Issuance of receipt or sale. So questions, kailan required na mag-issue ng resibo ang isang commercial establishment? So issuance of receipt or sales of commercial invoices on the sale and transfer of merchandise or for services rendered valued pag 100 pesos or more ang presyo ng merchandise, you are now required to issue official receipt. Resibuhan mo na yan. Basta 100 or more. Right? Kaya nga yung mga nasabi ng iba, sabi ng isang estudyante ko, no? Di ba may question kayo? Sir, how about those online sellers, mga nagla-live selling? Sila ba ay tax? Sabi ng isa kong estudyante sa grad school, they are now starting to chase, to pursue yung mga live seller na yan. And pagbabayaran nila ng mga taxes. In fact, ang bagong batas ngayon, di ba? We have shown this one during our early meetings. Isa sa mga bagong tax law is for to tax the mga live sellers. Sa mga balita natin yan last time, mga tax law dated 2025. Yung mga nagbebenta online, they will now be required to pay taxes. Kasi nga naman, di ba, yung mga nagbebenta 100 pesos or more i-required. Mga live seller, ganoon din. Malakas rin silang bumenta. Ang damit ang naibenta, magkano. So, they will be paying taxes. Next one, by 2023. So, starting 2023, those engaged in the export of goods and services, taxpayers engaged in e-commerce, yan. And those belonging to the large taxpayer service are required to issue electronic receipts or sales or commercial invoice by 2023. Electronic receipt. Pag nasa e-commerce ka, no? Pag e-commerce ka, nagbebenta ka through online. So, electronic receipt ang dapat mong i-issue sa mga customers mo or invoice or sales invoice. Number 2, you are also required to report. To electronically report your sales to the Bureau of Internal Revenue. So, dalawa na ang required sa'yo starting 2023. Una, you are now required to issue receipt, electronic receipt. Palawa, you are now required to report electronically to the BIR ang lahat ng benta mo, sales data mo starting 2023. Especially mga electronic, mga involved sa sa e-commerce. Now, taxpayers not required to issue electronic receipts or sales or commercial invoices may opt to do so. Ibig sabihin, nagbebenta ng mga wala pa sa 100, di naman siya required, diba, to issue receipt. Pero, they may still submit sales data to the Bureau of Internal Revenue kahit hindi sila required na mag-issue ng resibo. Parang parang for di naman in compliance, no? But for reference, just being transparent, you are just informing the BIR yung total sales mo. Digital records must be kept in the place of business for a period of 3 years. Yan. Digital. Kasi ang digital, madali siyang mawala eh. Pero yung mga manual, you can keep more the manual data, the manual records, may mga papel. No? Ang records kasing digital eh, sometimes you are prone to erasing or deleting mga files. Pag sobrang malaki na yung mga consume na memory, diba parang sabi mo, delete mo na mga to, but for the purpose of the BIR, 3 taon guys, no, ang prescription for you to keep or hindi dapat i-delete sa loob ng 3 taon from issuance ang mga digital records mo. Sama, electronic receipt, electronic sales data na submitted to the BIR 3 taon bago mo sa i-delete. Kasi the reason, sometimes the BIR will be doing some audit. Tapos wala kang may ipakita. Okay? Fine o penalty. Sino makukulong? The penalty, the fine for attempt to evade or defeat tax, evasion, intentionally not paying taxes. Ang fine, 500,000 minimum o 10 million maximum. Depende sa amount of tax na hindi mo binayaran. Plus, ito ibig sabihin, magbayad ka na ng penalty na 10 million, makukulong ka pa. 6 years but not more than 10 years. 6 years ang minimum, 10 taon ang maximum, kulong. Plus, ikaw ay may penalty na 500,000 minimum, 10 million minimum pag you attempted to evade taxes or paying taxes. Especially mga malalaking businessman, malalaking businesses, ang laki-laki ng kanilang tax babayaran, then they will resort tax evasion. Pala ng penalty, no? Kulong pa. Ito naman, penalty or fine for printing of receipts without authority of the BIR. So guys, no, pag ikaw ay negosyante, hindi ka basta-basta nagpapaprint ng resibo. Authorized dapat yan ng Bureau of Internal Revenue. Kasi mamaya, di ba, nagpaprint ka ng resibo, tapos ini-issue mo sa mga bumibili. Hindi naman authorized ng BIR. Iba nga parang papel lang, So dapat tinatatakan ng BIR. Fine, penalty for double or multiple sets. Bawal mag-issue. Bawal mag-maintain ng dalawang version, dalawang klase ng resibo. Iba kasi may resibong pang BIR, may resibong yung fake. May invoice sa pang BIR, may invoice na fake. Siyempre, yung pang BIR na sales invoice mo, mas konti ang sales na naka-record doon. Yung totoong record, ito yung ang laki pala ng benta mo, di ba? Kasi you tend to minimize the sales para ang yung tax babayaran ay konti lang. Ibawal yan. No? Bawal yung dalawang version ng resibo or invoices. Bawal yung dalawang libro. Bawal dalawang books na maintain for the purpose of accounting. O may penalty din yung mga resibong walang number. Unnumbered receipt. Penalty. Nag-isang resibo, walang number. Walang serial number. Penalty. 500,000 to 10 million. 6 years imprisonment, but not more than 10 years imprisonment. So may kulong guys, may kulong. Okay, next one. Ito naman for penalty, pinag-usapan natin ngayon. Penalty for failure to transmit sales data. Di ba sabi natin kanina, yung mga electronic Ang mga e-commerce businesses, you are now required to transfer to the BIR electronic records of your sales data. Now, penalty for failure, hindi ka nakapag-transmit ng sales data mo to the BIR. So magkanong penalty? 1/10 of 1%. 1/10 of 1% of the annual income or 10,000 pesos kung saan ang mas higher. Right? O, example, ang benta mo sa isang taon ay 500,000. So magkanong 1% ng 500,000 times 0.01? That is 5,000 pesos. I-1/10, sabihin 1/10 pa. 1/10 of 5,000, di ba? So 1 divided by 10 times 5,000. 500 pesos ang iyong penalty. Okay? Pero, ang minimum natin, 10,000. Kahit ano compute may 500 pesos, 10,000 pa rin babayaran mo. Kasi nga, whichever is higher. Yan failure transmit. Now, isa pa paano pag we really want to transmit to the BIR yung aming sales receipt, kaya nagka-problema. Example, the reason is due to force majeure or mga causes beyond the control of the taxpayer. Example, nagkaroon ng bagyo, tsunami, tidal wave, lindol, sunog, mga zombie, no? Wala kang magagawa no? You want to transmit, kaya lang nagkaroon ng problema. Nasira, binaha yung records mo, nasira ang computer, nasira ang database. So those are exception. Yung tinatawag ng mga force majeure or acts of nature. Now, if the aggregate number of days of violation, example, hindi nakapag-remit, di ba? Lumampas sa 180 days. Within a taxable year, mayroon kang additional penalty. So, nangyari, you failed to remit to the BIR, limang araw na ang nakaraan, hindi ka pa nakapag-remit. Diba? Now, pinaabot mo pa ng 180 days. So, meron ka pang dagdag na additional penalty. Pag masyadong matagal na. Or, permanent closure of the taxpayer shall be imposed. So, pinapabay ka ng penalty pa, and kung masyadong grabe na yung non-compliance, permanent closure. Example, 2 taon ka na hindi nagre-remit ng record. So, permanent closure of the establishment ang mangyayari sa'yo. So, may mga businesses ha. Okay, so let's move on. Fine. Penalty for the purchase, use, possession, sale, or offer to sell, pag-install, transfer, update, upgrade, maintenance of sales suppression device is set at not less than 500,000. Hindi mo gumagamit ng mga devices na example, you want to lower, gumagamit ka ng mga device na para mapababa ang benta. Para yung record sa computer ay bumaba, hindi ma-reflect lahat. Gumagamit ng mga devices. We call this the sales suppression device. May ganung mga devices eh. Yung bang hindi nare-reflect lahat ng computer, yung lahat ng pumasok, pinatay pong benta kasi gumagamit ka ng devices. Pang-suppress or pang-pigil na yung benta ay may record. So, hindi lang paggamit kasi pag bumili ka lang ng sales suppression, penalty na yan. Gumamit ka, penalty. Possession, nakitaan ka lang na mayroon kang ganung gadget, device. Or nagbenta ka. Or offer to sell. Offer to sell pa lang, no? Hindi pa binibenta, nag-offer ka pa lang. Or ikaw mismo nag-install ng device na yan. Or nag-transfer, nag-upgrade. So lahat, guys, lahat ng pwede mong gawin sa isang sales suppression device. Magbenta, mag-purchase, mag-maintain, mag-repair, meron kang penalty. You read the penalty, 500,000. But not more than 10 million or imprisonment. Kasi malaking bagay yan, paano pag lahat ay binentahan mo, lahat ng establishment sa iyong barangay binenta mo ng ganito, right? So, malaking kawalan sa ano 'yan, sa Bureau of Internal Revenue. So, parang economic sabotage 'yan, 'di ba? Imbes na marami silang nagko-collect ng taxes based sa sales ng mga businesses, ininstallan mo ng mga device na ganito. Okay, let's move on. Cumulative suppression of electronic sales record in excess of 50 million shall be considered as economic sabotage and shall be punished in the maximum penalty. Yan. Ayun, no? Mga sales na ano, ikaw yung cumulative, cumulative na naipon, na suppression of electronic sales. No? You suppress the sales, tumulong ka sa pag-suppress ng sales, tumulong sa pagpababa ng benta ng isang company. Tapos, umabot ng 50 million. Ang iyong nasuppress, ibig sabihin, pag naipon, at ang total na bawas na benta ay 50, umabot ng 50 million. Ibig sabihin, nakabawas ka ng 50 million sa bentang lang lahat. Cumulative. Example, ikaw yung nag-install ng ano ng sales suppression device sa isang taon. Tapos pag iniipon mo, lahat ng ininstallan mo ay umabot sa 50 million ng kabawasan. Umabot sa 50 million na tipid ng mga ng business because of your device. Economic sabotage isang tawag natin dyan. Maximum penalty ang pwedeng ipataw sa iyo. So you avoid using yung mga device na ganun. Any person found to be engaged in the sales, trade, delivery, isa-isa nyo ang taong engaged sa pagbenta, pag-trade, pag-exchange, pag-deliver, distribution, or transportation. Pag-transport pa lang so ibig sabihin, kaya hindi ko bumili, hindi ko nagbebenta, pero ikaw yung kinontratang truck, ikaw yung kinontratang van or delivery van ng isang unmarked. Once again, mga unmarked fuel, ito yung mga walang tatak ng customs, smuggled. O unmarked fuel in commercial quantity. Commercial quantity yung pangbenta na talaga, maramihan. Held for domestic use or merchandise at any person who caused the removal of the official fuel marking agent. Yan, tinanggal. Or pwede rin adulteration or dilution of fuel intended for sale to the domestic market. Penalty. First offense. Okay, may first offense pala. Unang offense mo, unang violation. 2025, nag-valid ka, 2.5 million. 5 million. Third offense, 10 million. And revocation of license. Ito yung mga taong involved sa importation of gasoline. Gasoline, mga example lang isang isang company ng gasoline sa Pilipinas, malaking company. Tapos gumamit siya ng unmarked fuel markings. Ibig sabihin smuggled. Ang penalty 2.5 pero kaya-kaya naman nila yan kasi malaking companies naman sila, di ba? Kasi ito ay nag-a-apply din sa mga malaking companies for commercial nga For commercial quantity, maramihan. Yung penalty, kaya-kaya ng isang business yan. Pero pag ikaw sa ordinary person, hindi mo kaya yan. Hindi ka nang pang commercial Alright, so let's have more natin. All that are required by law to pay internal revenue taxes shall keep and use relevant and appropriate set of bookkeeping records. So mga negosyante, pag kayo ay especially mga manual may mga librong ginagamit, may pinagre-recordan ng mga transaction sa loob ng isang company, mga record books. So ito'y tinatatak ng BIR. Sabihin, hindi ka pwedeng basta-basta mag-record sa isang libro na walang tatak ng BIR. Merong bookkeeping records na tinatatakan. Doon ka magre-records. Now, Yung mga records mo, example, records ng mga benta mo, books of accounts, books of sales, na umabot sa 3 million, lumampas ang 3 million ang benta, ang naka-record doon. Isang libro, na nagre-record mo ng benta, tapos naka-record ng benta doon, lumampas ng 3 million. Yung librong yan is now automatically must be audited by a certified public accountants. Ayan, no? Kasi siya ka nagre-record ng mga annual sales, di ba? Sa mga librong yan. So, sobrang laki niyan, dapat in-audit na yan. Sino mag-audit? Certified public accountants. Babayaran mo sila. Bawat, pag pinirmahan nila yan, it's automatic. Na-audit na yan. Mahal ang bayad. No? Kaya pag CPA, mga lakas kumita ng mga CPA. I think that is the last one. Tingnan ko kung mayroon pa tayong additional slide dito, but I am confident that is the last slide for the day. Yes, and these are my website, the website of the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Hoping guys that you have learned something from this recording. And once again, this has been Dr. Cortez signing off. Maraming salamat. Pa-subscribe naman sa aking channel. Thank you.